Let's try this again. Hey y'all, it's your girl Dawn, the Spiritual Doula, and we live. We live for the weekly collective card poll, okay? As promised, I'm here to pull some cards. I was going to use this card deck, right? But I think I'm going to use the Celestial Insight deck. This deck is so beautiful, all right? And we're going to pull some cards for the week. So I want to do weekly card pulls instead of daily card pulls so the energy could play out. So we can see how the energy play out throughout this week. All right. What's today? The 7th. So this is going to be from 2/8 until 2/14. Yeah. 2/14. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So I instantly heard a message about trust. Right? That's the urgent message, to basically just trust yourself. Trust yourself. Not only trust yourself, trust your spiritual team as well. Okay? Trust your spiritual team as well. Because you may be going through a moment right now where you're being redirected, and trust that it's working out in your favor. Okay, whatever you are being redirected to, whatever you are being called to, whatever you are being called to, like pivot or shift, trust that it's working out in your favor. That's the first message that I instantly heard without even pulling the cards. Okay, so have faith. All right. I like this little top though. It's cute. Let me just make sure the girl's not out. Alright, I'm gonna pull a card. Even though nobody's here, but I'm gonna talk because this is practice and this is what I need to do. Alright. So some cards are just gonna fly out. I don't pick from the top of the deck. I usually just shuffle. Some cards just turn over. Sometimes they just fly out. So we're gonna see what's the collective energy for the week. So see, 3 cards just flew out. All right, so the first card we have is boundary. Setting healthy boundaries is crucial for your well-being. Do you feel overwhelmed by others? Clearly define your limits to protect your emotional and mental space, y'all. So okay, start learning how to say no, because no is a complete sentence. Like, you are not obligated to do anything that you don't want to do. Okay? Sometimes when we feel like when we say no, we always have to explain the reason, or we have to explain why. And that's because, we may be recovering people pleasers, or we may not want to hurt nobody's feelings, or we may, have a problem setting a boundary. But it's time for you to set a clear boundary. And when somebody crosses that boundary, you let them know so that they don't do it again. Don't go ghost when somebody crosses a boundary, right? Because it's like, how would a person know if they crossed that boundary if you didn't communicate what the boundary was, right? So learn how to set a boundary. And I know that that's easier said than done for some of us. So this is a practice that you have to do if you struggle with this. Practice saying no out loud. I think I said this the other day on my stories. Practice saying no out loud. Okay? No, I can't do it. No, that's not for me. And there's different ways to say no. You could say, nah. You could say, hell no. You could say, get somebody else to do it. It's all about how you deliver the message, okay? Because right now, you are in a space where you may be putting others before yourself. And that's something that you don't want to do, okay? Protect your peace. Protect your purpose. All right? That was card number 1, boundary. Healthy boundaries, whether it's a boundary with your mother, whether it's a boundary with your friend, whether you are in a relationship, whether it's a business boundary, to a work boundary. Like, no, I'm not, set that boundary so that you could be good here. Because if you're not good here mentally, everything else is just gonna not be aligned and it's gonna create an imbalance. Okay? All right, the next card is freedom. Freedom is about following your inner voice. Have you been feeling trapped by responsibilities? And this is where the boundary card come in at. Right? Release those burdens and follow what makes you feel free, light, and alive. Remember what I said, that you may be doing things that you don't want to do? And you need to start saying no to these things. Once you start saying no to these things, other things will begin to open up for you. You'll have liberation. You have freedom to do those other things that you are being called to do. But you can't do those things if you're still doing the things that you don't want to do. The things that you don't have to the things that you don't have the desire to do, don't do them. Okay? Because it's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you trapped. Okay? Oh, these cards. These cards are beautiful. Look at the little bird. Look at the bird on this card flying through. And I'm hearing freedom, freedom. See, the thing, my spirit sometimes speaks to me through songs. So if you see me just bust out, start singing a song, somebody needs to go listen to Beyonce, Freedom. Or, ain't no feeling like being free when your mind's made up and your heart in the right place. Yeah, Destiny's Child, Free. Listen to that. Right? And then it's the last card you have is Test. Okay? All right? Life's challenges are opportunities for growth. You may be facing a difficult decision or situation, but don't shy away from it. Embrace the test and you'll emerge stronger and wiser. That test that you have is that boundary that you got to set. And that's why I said it may be easier said than that's why I said it may be easier said than done. Because not only do you have to say no or put the boundary in place, then you have to follow up with maintaining that boundary. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's going to be the test. That's going to be the test for you. Because you may struggle with saying no. You may struggle with putting yourself first. You may struggle with putting some things down or doing extra things that you don't want to do. Right? Sometimes it's really hard to set a boundary with those with the ones that we love. It's really difficult to set a boundary with those that we love. But if it's costing you your peace of mind, then set the boundary. Set the boundary. So that was that Celestial Insights cards. And these cards have like a lot of words on them or whatever. So sometimes I don't even like reading the words on the cards. But this card, we just gonna go with the straight one word to get even deeper with the message. Okay? Trust that you're making the right decision too when it comes to this boundary. Alright, what's the card? Boundary. I'm gonna save this live too. I'm gonna save this live. All right, and 3 cards came out again. Here we go, leadership. Okay, love. It's so funny. Okay, so the card that came out with boundary was Healing Chaos. Healing Chaos. This is a card that came out with boundary. That followed up to confirm the card, to clarify this. Healing Chaos. So right now, you lacking boundaries. And the boundaries that you don't have is gonna it's causing it's blah. Slow down in it. It's causing chaos in your life. It's causing turmoil. It's causing confusion. I'm hearing that emotions are running high because you don't have this boundary in place. But once you set this boundary with whoever it is that you need to set it with, and for some reason I'm hearing that it's a boundary that's dealing with the relationship. That's dealing with the relationship. Whether it's with a sibling or whether it's with your partner, a lover. There's a boundary that you need to set there. So you need to figure out what that boundary is, how that boundary is going to look for you. It may not even look like saying no. It may look like something totally different. But you have to set that boundary for yourself so that you can have that peace of mind, so your mind can be clear. So your spirit can be free. And the question that I'm being called for you to ask is, what's on the other side of creating this boundary? Like, why are you afraid to create this boundary? What's the outcome? What's the outcome if you create this boundary? Right? Because when you have this boundary set, you'll be able to heal the confusion and the chaos that's in your life. Look at the butterflies that's in the picture, which represents what? Which represent what? The freedom. The freedom. Right? Right? And we also have, with the freedom card, we have leadership. Take the lead. Take charge of your freedom. Take the lead when it comes to your liberation. Because only you are in charge of that. Only you can set yourself free. Like, nobody else is coming to save you. You have to take charge. You have to be the leader of your own life. Don't put it in somebody else's hands. Don't allow anyone to make decisions for you. You know the decisions that you already have to make. That's going to give you a peace of mind. Right? That's going to have you feeling at ease, at peace, and aligned with yourself and your spirit. All right, because then once you pass the test, once you put yourself first, once you take charge, your whole life will change. You'll become cleansed. You'll become purified. For some reason, I'm hearing Psalms 51. Cleanse me and I shall be cleansed. Wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. Your aura will be so bright. Your life will be filled with so much ease. You'll have so much joy. But first, you have to pass the test of creating that boundary. And what does that look like for you? At the bottom of each deck, For some reason, I feel like this is about a relationship. I don't know why. I feel like it's about a relationship. I'm getting that feeling that it's about the relationship. It's about it. It's about a relationship. Because at the bottom of this deck is courage. You need to have the courage to set that boundary with whoever you may need to set the boundary with. You need to push through. You need to have the courage. You need to have the confidence. And you need to be able to be like, this is the boundary that I set. This is a line that nobody's going to cross. And when somebody crosses that line, you need to ask yourself, what's the action behind it that you are going to take behind it? But that also means that you have to communicate that. You have to be able to stand up for yourself and speak your truth and say what you mean and mean what you say. Setting boundaries with those that we love is not easy. Because at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself, did anybody ever teach you about boundaries? Were we ever taught about boundaries? We've been taught to put people before us. We've been taught to be people pleasers. Right? But nobody never taught us to say no and stand firm on that no. You gotta stand 10 toes down on your no. Okay? So this is for next week. And it's funny because even before I pulled the cards, right? This is the message that came up for me, right? That I'm going to be tested this week. No, this upcoming week, I'm going to be tested in some way, in some form. And I need to be able to communicate the boundary. This also works with you in your throat chakra, right? Like, let's start doing that work this year, speaking our truth, speaking what we want, saying what you say what you mean and mean what you say. Own it. Own it. Okay? I think that's the message. That's the message. Like, my messages are not, when I receive my messages, it's not long. It's really like, okay, we getting straight to the point. Because it's like, they just want to put it out there. Right? So don't, if you're watching the replay, right? And if you know you have to set a boundary with someone and it's hard for you to do, go in the mirror and start practicing saying no. 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 No, that's not for me. No. No. So then when the time comes, right, you say no. And you say it you set the boundary from a place of love. You don't do it from a place of anger. You don't do it from a place of resentment or rage, right? You do it from a space of love. Okay? Because we want to keep our hearts light too. We don't want our hearts heavy this season. Okay? Like, not even this season at all. You know? So let's just say no with ease. Let's be respectful. You know? No is a complete sentence. If you need support with saying no without over explaining, say no, that doesn't work for me. No, I'm unable to do it. No. That's it. Even when it comes to your job. All right? All right, so I'm sending y'all all love. And I hope that y'all have a great Saturday. And stay warm because it's very cold in New York City. It's brick ass out here. All right? So stay warm, y'all. Have a great day. Evening. Have a great evening.